All right, welcome back to the Fallon in Real Life podcast. I'm Tyler.
I'm Fallon.
And here we are. Make sure you follow your boys on Instagram, TikTok, MySpace. I think we get it back into MySpace.
Is that still around?
Too late? And email your comments, questions, and concerns to fallonirlpod@gmail.com. And with that, we're going to start the show. Today, we're talking electric vehicles because I think it's interesting. And I don't know if you find it as interesting as I do, but I'm very intrigued by all the different players that are coming out and this whole movement and where it's going to go. And in 10 years, like,
it's definitely a shift.
What kind of stuff are we going to be seeing on the roads? And I've already seen a couple of ones that are like, wow, that looks crazy.
Yeah.
You know, some of these models and companies and stuff are making cars that look like the concept cars that you would find in like DuPont registry like 10 years ago
are actually on the road,
are actually driving around. So I don't know if you have any thoughts off the top. I kind of wanted to get your overall opinion. Are you bullish on it?
Well,
are you confident in this?
Obviously, confidence isn't even a concern any longer because you've got all your major players that are on board. You know, am I concerned? Yeah, I have some concerns with it. Mm-hmm. You know, it's one thing to see gas prices at an all-time high. That's going to drive a lot of people to alternatives. I get it. But at what cost? To produce these batteries and the minerals and just the mining that goes into doing that, I'm afraid to say that I don't think this has been completely thought out in that regard because where are we going to start seeing all these wasted batteries? You know, they won't last forever, but how are they going to deal with that? It's one thing to deal with a car that runs on a fuel that burns. You know, obviously electric vehicles aren't burning any fuel other than their powered batteries.
Yeah.
So what do we do with all those batteries once they die?
Well, I think you can recycle them, just like you could recycle like a Duracell battery, I'm pretty sure, right?
To me, I would agree. I would hope. I think if anyone's looking from I don't want to say investment standpoint, but really if you're looking at the auto industry from that standpoint, technology is driving the automotive industry more today than it ever has. One of the gentlemen I golf with, he's the CEO for a company that is developing a program and system that will allow you to basically monitor, track, and identify the maintenance of all vehicles to the point where from the day that leaves a factory to its full life, that vehicle has a history that's been stored, cloud-based, for maintenance and monitoring of that vehicle.
That's kind of cool.
I think it's really cool. It's a little scary on one hand, but not really because knowledge is everything.
We're already in it.
Yeah,
you know what
exactly.
I mean? We're
exactly.
already in it. Why not?
So, when I look at, Tesla's done an amazing job. You've got other players. Volkswagen seems to be very high on that list. Hyundai has come out with an amazing vehicle that's, all electric and it doesn't look bad. Who else? Let's see. General Motors, coming out with the Hummer. I loved our Hummer.
About that too.
Yeah, I loved our Hummer, but I hated, how bad a gas mileage it got. So I'm really curious to see how the Hummer performs now as a electric vehicle. Ford Motors, they came out with that, Mustang style, electric car that's done very well. They're they're coming out with the F-150.
Yeah.
That is, again, just, I look at all of that and it's exciting. Like the acceleration when you drive
crazy,
Teslas, isn't it crazy?
It's nuts. And we don't even have, so we have like the base model ones and then we have like the long range ones with the dual motor. And this is just a Model 3 with a dual motor. It like puts a smile on your face. It really feels like you're in a roller coaster, like about to shoot off. Like you need to get from, it's not so much the off the line with those ones because it's, I don't know, it's not the Plaid, right? You're not going to you don't need to go that fast.
Right.
It's the like 20 to 80. I need to get from 20 to 60. It's like, bam, you're like, whoa, shit. Like I'm around. Instant. And it makes other cars feel dumb. It just makes driving something where you step on the gas and you hear the RPMs go. It's like, oh man, we've wasted 4 seconds of me getting up to speed. And the Tesla, you hit it, you're moving.
It's immediate.
So that's what I really like about them.
Okay.
We're gonna go through some cool ones that I don't know if you've heard of.
No. Let's talk about it.
So let's get into it. Let's start with the Fords.
Okay.
You can see, right?
Yeah,
We're good?
I love it.
You're an F-150 guy.
I love my F-150.
You like Fords.
Yes.
Okay. So here we are. This is the F-150 Lightning. And if, for those of you listening, hop on over to YouTube. You can see what we're looking at. Okay?
Absolutely.
I think these things look pretty cool. I think they're going to sell a shit ton of them.
Absolutely.
I think these are going to fly because it's a familiar brand. They didn't do anything crazy with the body style where it's going to turn people off.
Well, yeah, do a side, like if you were to do a side by side.
I mean, this looks like it literally looks like a 2022 F-150 that's electric. It's got this bar on the back, right? That's sort of like the universal electric car thing. Mm-hmm. Also, something interesting I learned. The government requires that blinkers not be on a tailgate that can move. Yeah. So when they make cars, every car you see now, I can't unsee it. Every car, there's never a blinker on a trunk, which makes sense, right? You can't put your, but
yeah, that makes sense.
Anyways, I think these things look really sick. I'm not a Ford guy in particular, if I'm being honest.
No.
However, I wouldn't not drive one of the things. I think they're cool, but I think I kind of took a deep dive on most of these.
Yeah.
The really cool functionality about this one that I thought maybe set this apart was if you're parked and it's dark out, it's got like these spotlights and it will light up the entire surrounding area. And it sounds kind of dumb, but it's like, oh, that's kind of cool. Like, what if you're coming home late and you got some groceries or something, and you live on land and you're you go to Home Depot, the sun's about to set, you get home and now you got to unload. I don't know, just
or better yet, camping.
Exactly.
Or you're pulling a trailer.
So this is something else I want to get into. We'll get into the camping thing later.
Okay.
Because there's another truck that I want to show you that's pretty geared towards that, and I kind of want to get into the whole camping marketing thing.
Absolutely.
But you like this. Like, this is something you would drive.
I absolutely would drive that.
So my other question, and maybe your business brain can work, are they going to get new customers, or are they looking to get people that own F-150s to like trade in? That's the part that I don't get. I like electric cars. I like this. I like the truck. I'm not going to buy it. This wouldn't make me switch to Ford. Okay. Are you banking on like brand loyalty, all the folks that are like maybe being tempted by these other companies to like, stick with Ford?
Well, remember this. More Fords are on the road than anything because of commercial, meaning contractors.
Yeah, sure.
They have a very large fleet services is essentially, to convert all the Fords on the road today that are in fleet services to an electric vehicle would be a pretty significant impact.
Sure.
Okay. There's a lot. Now, from a casual consumer like myself that just loves a truck.
Yeah.
I've loved Ford for a long time. I loved my Navigators as well.
True. Those are nice cars.
I just knew, And
sorry, I'm going to cut you off. I love this, by the way. I love this thing that folds down and turns into a desk. Like this center console, the shifter folds down and this folds down.
It's a full workstation.
And it's like, oh, wow, that's really cool. And another thing that they market, I know I cut you off, but I'm going to keep going. How many people are really like on job sites using this? They really market this to like, if you're on a job site, you could plug in your chainsaw to the back and you can have a workstation. It's got like a pen holder in the like stuff like that is really weird. It's like, okay, how many people are really doing that? You know what I mean?
Well, you'd be shocked. I mean, I
guess maybe I would be shocked because clearly they wouldn't be pushing it if it didn't matter.
Well, okay, there's people that own trucks because it looks cool. Yeah, they just want to own a truck.
I like driving a truck.
Yeah, no, I love a truck. Again, but is it do you own a truck because of the functionality of it or just because you want to own a truck? Mm-hmm. If you want to just own a truck and you're not using it for all of its purposes, it's kind of...
Right? Like, what's the point?
What's the point?
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, being able to haul things, being able to load things in the back of a truck, being able to... I mean, you can go for a nice a nice trip or a dinner in a in an F-150. I wouldn't be embarrassed pulling up and valeting my truck. I think it's in great shape. It's beautiful. But looking at this electric, it just has so many so many tools that you would use. I'm always on the road. There's always times when that workstation would come in handy.
I think the workstation's honestly sick. I think it's really cool. Like
the tailgate functions are really important. The ability to, we all think just that extra ladder step stool is cool, but there's so many other things you can do with your,
totally. Yeah, I'm
truck
with you.
Bed.
Yeah, see, like, look at this. I don't know what these people are doing. What are they doing? They're under a bridge. Are they robbing something? This guy's got his welder hooked up. Like, that's super cool. But like, and apparently you can power your house. You can power your house. Which, come on. So you're telling me I'm gonna spend? I just don't know what percentage of a consumer is gonna buy this thing, pay the extra whatever thousands of dollars to have the special charging thing at your house that's hooked up to your house, and then if your power goes out, again, it's a really cool feature. It just seems like, wow, that's really a reach. It's just a weird sell. It's a really weird selling point to me.
Well, if you were again, this falls more into the camping side of things. There's so many times that you go off-road and you find this awesome spot next to a lake, but without having a generator, how are you going to have lights? How are you going to have, the ability to do other things? This is all built into one, which I think is really cool. Again, function. They really put a lot of thought into what is available. I love that, that front, instead of a motor in the front, it's a
frunk. They call it the frunk.
The frunk.
Yeah, see, that's sick. That's really cool. I think that's cool.
No,
I just feel like I can't tell you how many times it's like, oh man, I wish I could just light up. Or you go out and you gotta load something up at night. Oh, we gotta go to the airport in the morning and it's dark out. It's like, turn on the spotlights and it'll light up the whole thing. Okay, so you like this?
No, I like that.
Okay,
yeah, for sure.
Let's see how much this runs you. I know we're kind of going long on this one.
Probably about $80,000.
Of course, it's starting at whatever. Oh, shut up. Starting at $39,000. Now, to get the one with all the balls and whistles on is $90,000.
Yeah. So
pretty standard tiering of price here.
Well, and I drive a Loretta, the Larat, whatever.
Where's that? Right. Lariat.
Yep, the Lariat, whatever it is.
Okay. Cool. So we like them.
Yeah.
Let's move to Tesla. We've all seen Teslas on the road. I like Teslas. I think what Tesla has done for the electric vehicle thing is the same thing that Toyotas did with hybrids. Priuses, it made hybrids not cool, but a thing.
Common.
It made them very common. I don't know. Without Tesla, I don't know. It really forced other people, other companies to be like, wow, people really like electric vehicles.
They proved it's possible.
Exactly.
Tesla, if Tesla wouldn't have been able to get past the manufacturing challenges of mass distribution, they may not be here today. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, I think, and I'm not sorry, I'm going to sound like an Elon enthusiast here. I do like Elon Musk. I think he's done some things that are strange, but I think as far as an innovator, I think he's awesome. And
he's committed to it
exactly
working. And that's again, anything's possible.
Yeah.
And he's proven that, whether you're boring holes under Los Angeles or you're sending rockets to space, he put the time, he committed to it. From a leadership standpoint, I respect a man that's willing to spend 3 years in a factory between Nevada and, the Bay Area, back and forth to the factories to ensure that what is critical, which was the distribution of, the manufacturing, all of this worked, and it worked. So, but when I look at the vehicle, the makes.
Yeah, let's get, I kind of want to get into that part.
Yeah.
I mean, so this is the model, what are we on? Model X Plaid. This is pretty much as expensive as it gets, as far as I'm concerned. I think. I don't know. All the freaking Tesla heads out there are going to be screaming at me. I don't know. But
Well,
the Model X Plaid is like a third row SUV, 1,000 horsepower, 333 miles. The interior, I guess what Ford and some of these other ones are doing is like where I think the Ford loses is it's just an F-150 that's electric. That's basically how I look at it. There's nothing different. There's nothing unique about it. Like, this is very unique looking. It's got this weird steering wheel, which I don't love, but it's a clean look. It's a super clean look, and I do like that. I like the look of this, and their screen.
Very simple.
Very simple. It's like, also crazy. So the Plaid models, I don't know if it's just the Plaid models, there's no shifter. Where's the shifter? It guesses what gear you're going to go into. So if you need to reverse, it's going to go, oh, well, there's like a garage in front of you. You need to reverse. It knows. And then you just hit the gas and it goes. Now, obviously, there's ways to manually put it in. I think if you like click here and go there. And then also there's like an emergency function down here. You can't. I think they probably blocked it out. But right here, there's like park, reverse, neutral, whatever. You got to like unlock it to do that. So that way, if you're totally fucked, you're not screwed. But yeah, I like the Teslas.
I think the overall look of the Teslas, again, very simple.
They look like a Hot Wheel.
You know, I love the Model S.
They're sick.
They really are. I mean,
and have you ridden in one? You've ridden in one, right?
Yeah. And the Model S is a rocket ship. It really is. They just look meaty. Very similar to the Porsche. You know, but again, when you're sitting next to one and they they just accelerate off the line,
gone.
Just that sound, that just hum, you know, it's not, it's different. Again, you know, but I look at like the Ford F-150 truck, and then I look at the Tesla truck.
You've seen the Cybertruck?
The Cybertruck, yes.
Yeah.
And when I look at that, I think a lot of people will buy it just because it's so.
I mean, look at this thing. Could you imagine
looking.
seeing this thing on the road? This thing, I don't know.
I don't think I would own one. I'm
telling you, if I had some fuck you money, I would buy it. They're so. They're crazy looking. It doesn't even look real. Like if you saw that thing driving on the road, you'd be like, "Where are they shooting the Steven Spielberg movie?"
Yeah,
like
no, exactly. It's. Again, I don't know. It's not a truck, in my view.
You don't think so?
No, but again, that's just me. Other people look at it like it's the coolest thing since sliced bread.
Yeah. I think all the Tesla fanboys are, you know, people with money will buy one and it'll be such a status thing because they're so, you know, limited and all this stuff.
Absolutely. And I again, quality of the vehicle I think is going to be really important. Because it's, you know, again, we haven't seen them come out. The Model S has evolved and advanced, in my opinion. But there hasn't been a lot of changes to the car. But
I think that's the point. I think the point, and I think what you're about to say is the technology.
Yeah.
I think that's where Tesla is just like way ahead of everybody.
Yeah.
As this stuff starts to come out, Tesla's going to be, their self-driving is, from what I've seen, like better than all these other ones, right? Like if you get the full self-driving and the ones that we have where we work, it's just the beta. But I mean, if you're on the freeway and you tell it to do it, it'll do it. Or like even on like windy roads, like we tried it on one of these roads back here.
Yeah.
It stayed on the road. It
Really?
did the curves. It was a little weird because it's kind of jerky, but for the most part, it was smooth. It
That was the autopilot?
It's wild.
Yeah.
Where these other cars, I don't think they can do that.
Well, imagine the amount of data that Tesla's, collecting from the number of vehicles now that are on the streets worldwide. It's insane to think.
It is.
But again, that's what's allowing it to get smarter, more user friendly, I guess. Aesthetically, the cars look the same.
I think that's maybe another qualm I have is like they all do look the same. I guess a Model S when you see a Model S and a 3 when you see a 3, But like for the most part, it's like I don't know if that's a Plaid or not. Besides, if I look at the steering wheel, and the Plaid is like the $100,000, right? And the regular Model S, I don't know, 70, 80. I don't know. I have it right in front of me, but I'm not going to look.
Yeah.
But that's another thing that I think is kind of like, well, you do buy the car for like the status, right? Like we can all pretend like we buy cars because we love them. It's a status thing, right? Just like it's like a handbag or something. I think cars are a bit more functional than a handbag, but it's like you buy it so people look at you and ask you about your car, right? I don't know. It sounds dumb, but I think that maybe stop pretending.
Well,
like you buy nice cars because we like things. We like cars. We like shiny things.
Problem with cars is you're either buying it because it makes you feel good, I guess. When you're spending this kind of money, to spend $100,000 on a car,
that's no thanks.
Either A, you have a huge car payment, or B, you've worked very hard and you were able to buy that car that you really want. And I think the alternative B is a better direction. If you're out driving around in an S model, you spend $100,000. If you're making a car payment on that,
good thing you're saving on gas though.
Yeah, thank God for that. But you know what I mean? Like, especially, when you're younger, it's too easy to say, well, I'm making, good money. I can afford this payment. But $1,000 a month for a car payment,
it's crazy.
Is insane. Yeah. Why would you do that? But, again, it's relative. I mean, I would recommend an alternative, find a way for something to pay for that vehicle. Yep. Go put that money somewhere else so that you can earn and then allow that to help you pay for this. To me, that makes more sense, but most people don't think that way. They think, I got to have this car, or I need a car. That's the problem with cars. People think they need them. And, you obviously want to drive around in a car you're proud of. No one wants to drive around in a Pinto if you can afford a Tesla, But, again, it's choices.
Yeah. We're going to move on.
Just like all cars, though. Gas, electric, that is a choice right now. I wonder if we're going to be more forced into electric than gas. And I hope that's not the case. But anyhow, yeah, let's move on.
We're going to talk Hummers.
Okay.
These aren't on the road yet, I don't think. From what I've been reading, I don't think they're out.
Not quite yet.
They have so they have two. They have the truck and then the SUV. Mm-hmm. I guess, what do you like better? From a look standpoint, the insides are going to be the same.
Yeah, the SUV that has a removable top, I think, is really cool.
Yeah, so let's look at some pictures because I was really surprised. I watched a guy drive one of these around, and I didn't think that I would like it, but I really like these. I think that if you are in the $100,000s of dollars spending on a car,
yep. If you're in that mindset,
if this is where you're looking, I don't think this is anything that you should scoff at, because this is, from what it looks like and what the guy said. The guy, I fucking forget his name. His name's like Doug. He's some dork on the internet, but he's great at reviewing cars. I watched like 10 of them. But he said this is like a luxury ride. Like, he said it's more comfortable than a Tesla. I mean, this thing looks super, like, it looks beefy. Like, it looks like a Hummer. It's very rectangle-y and boxy, and
it looks like a Hummer.
All this.
It is a Hummer.
I know. Yeah, that sounded stupid, but like.
But like, look at that, where it's the SUV, like where it's open air. I can imagine out on the trails like that.
How many people are driving like this? This is another thing I have.
Well, we were spoiled here because Northern California has some amazing places to take vehicles like this.
Yeah, that's true.
And, I made certain that we took that Hummer places.
Our Hummer was really cool. It was a really sick car.
Yeah, and it went, we took it places like this because I wanted to see it work. I wanted to have to put it in four-wheel low.
Mm-hmm. Because, get your money's worth for it. Yeah.
I remember the time we pulled up to the car wash, and they wouldn't allow me in the car wash because we had just left, just mud bogging with the Hummer.
Yeah.
and they wouldn't let us take it through the car wash because it was so filthy.
Yeah. So this guy did a video on like how to take these things off.
Yep.
Pain in the ass.
I bet they are.
So see this bar right here?
Yep.
There's another bar up front. So these glass, let's see if we can get another look at the top. Hold on. You have to like, so these like unclip.
Correct.
Right? So these unclip, there's a place to store them, right? Okay, whatever. You want to take this thing off, you got to get a screwdriver. You got to unscrew this bar to get it, to get it like that. So again, really cool function, whatever. But I think to take the panels off, I think that's badass. It's really sick. And I think legitimately, like if I had this, like I would be driving with the panels off all the fucking time.
Well, there's just nothing like driving topless, you know. I love convertibles for that reason, because you just get a different experience. But to have the tops off and it looks good, that is, like I said.
And then interior, again, this thing, it just screams like, I'm a man. Like, look how square or boxy. There's kind of a lot of stuff going on.
Well, they're big seats,
but it does look really cool.
They're very comfortable.
Looks pretty sick.
You've got a lot of room. You know, there's something about space when you're driving, whether you're a passenger or you're the driver. You know, this vehicle has, you know, all the creature comforts. Everything's just at your fingertips. That center console just looks meaty, comfortable, you know, easy to use. Now, do the Hummers have autopilot?
I'm assuming they do. That seems like a standard now. Is like if you're making an electric car, it's got to
imagine off-roading with.
I don't think autopilot would work on off-road.
That would be fun.
The one thing that I'm kind of particular about, and working in the industry that I do, I'm in a ton of different cars.
Yep.
If the touchscreen isn't intuitive and is clunky and buttons are weird, I'm immediately turned off. I feel like I'm going to be turned off by this. There's a lot of these down here. There's a lot of these right here. Why do all these fake buttons have like this annoying looking, it just looks cluttery. It looks really cluttered, and I get it. Like that's you know what I mean? It's like stuff. Look at all my stuff on my screen. And I'm like, I like the clean look better.
Well, and that's where Tesla's done really well, because it's all internal. Mm-hmm. This is an external. This is like, you know, think of a cockpit.
Yeah.
You know, you're about to take off on your plane. And if you were to look at a cockpit, you have lots of gauges, switches, buttons. And in this case, there's so many.
There's a lot.
I would feel really bad for a user to come in here and, you know.
You'd obviously get used to it. That's the whole point,
But just like anything, you're going to use 5 of the 17 things that are available.
Isn't that hilarious? It's like, I'm never going to hit this button. Never. But it's there in case I want to. One thing also about consoles in general, I think the Tesla's touchscreen is the best of any car I've ever been in. Mm-hmm. Like, hands down. And to do, a lot of these EVs are going this way, where you tap on the AC and it shows like a picture of the fan, and you kind of move the fan with your finger, right? And there's no slits or anything to like for you to move the AC vent in the Tesla. You do it all on the screen, and it's sick. It's super smooth, and I love it. I do like having buttons though for my AC and being able to move the thing. I like that analog version of my AC. Like, you know, you're out driving around. I don't want to sit here and fuck around on a touch screen on a bumpy road to mess with my air conditioning or whatever. I want a button. I want a knob. Look at, I can turn my seat heater down. I can turn my temperature down. I can turn my fan speed up or down right here. Love that. I think that's great. That's the only bad thing about the Tesla touchscreen is like, and to turn up the fan is like a bar, and it's like at the top, and you gotta like really, I don't know. Okay. But I think of the touchscreens, it works. And there's another truck on here that we're going to get to that I really, really, really like, but I watched the guy review it, and I watched the air conditioning, the whole air thing, and I was like totally turned off by it. And I'm like, this would maybe be a deal breaker, because
Really?
How often are you fucking with the air? I mess with the air all the time. I'm always like,
Well, yeah.
1 up, 2 down. Like, I'm always messing with it. Or like, oh, it's not on my face exactly. I'm a psycho about it. I have to. It's unhealthy and it's a problem. But
Well, living where we live, I mean,
I guess it shouldn't be that hard to just be low, high.
Well,
but
yeah, it's comfort.
But to wrap this up,
Yep.
of the 3 that we've looked at, I love this one the most. I think if you have the money and you're going to spend this much on a car or on an electric truck, I think the truck functionality maybe isn't that functional, but
Well, yeah, it's
bed-
too small of a bed.
yeah, but it does have it's got like
Extendos.
it's got the mini tailgate that pops down, and you can pop the seats open. So if you have like a long board, you can put the seats from inside like outside and kind of have them hanging off the back. Like the seats fold down here, and then this little top part kind of folds down, and you stick the board from here to here. Cool.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. If I was looking for a truck, I probably wouldn't go down this road.
Like if you were gonna buy one of these, you might get the SUV.
Yeah.
Probably?
Yeah,
Okay.
probably would go with the SUV.
Okay. Cool. Let's move on.
Yep.
Have you seen Lucids? Have you heard of these?
Lucid Dreams.
Lucid Motors.
No.
Really?
Well, wow.
I've seen 2 of these things, and they look crazy.
That is awesome.
So this is supposed to be like the luxury. These start at 77, base model 77. This is like tip top, peak of the mountain, luxury type of car. This website, god awful. Lucid, I don't know what you were thinking. There's no gallery. It's annoying. So I had to go and look up other pictures of the interior. But here's the interior. So it's got this screen.
Is this an SUV?
No, these
Or
are
is
just
this
cars.
just cars? Okay.
Again, this one kind of sucks, but it's got this big long screen that goes across.
That cockpit look. Yep.
I don't love the long screen, if I'm being honest. I feel like it's kind of too much. But then it's got another screen down here. Apparently, if you opt for like the big badass one, it's got like seat massagers, all this crazy stuff. Look at this roof.
Yeah, I was going to say the windshield starts at the...
And it goes all the way to the top. All there is visors.
Yeah.
That's it. So you're driving, and I watched a dude review this one, and he says it's just a crazy driving experience because there is literally just glass on top of you. Most of the electric cars have glass. This one, it just goes all the way to the top, except for these visors because the government requires them.
Yeah, I could only imagine the glare from that. You know what I mean? Just having...
Yeah, I mean, they're all tinted. I mean, they're all super tinted, and it doesn't get that hot. But, yeah, seeing one of these things in real life.
I love that look of that vehicle from the exterior.
Okay.
But when I look at the interior...
You're not a fan?
I'm not a fan.
Why not?
I think that I would get annoyed by that windshield.
You think so?
Yeah, I think...
Okay.
I think... Just knowing how many times I'm driving and there's certain times of the day you're adjusting your visors, you're like, you just wish you didn't have all that light.
I don't think it's as much light. The Teslas have a full sunroof too, and it's super tinted.
Okay.
You don't feel like that.
All right. That's a good point. Dash wise, I like the dash. It's interesting. I don't know if I like how far...
It's weird, right?
Yeah.
It's like goes all the way across.
Yeah.
And I think this just comes down to the like, look at my stuff. Look at all this stuff. And it's like, okay, cool. It's got the weather. Like, you know what I mean? I'm sure you would, if you're driving this thing, like it's probably badass, right?
No,
like this thing probably drives like crazy, but I do think just the functionality of the screens is kind of annoying. I like having buttons to some degree.
Well, but how much...
So here's the top, $169,000. I mean, this is like, how much are Bentleys? You know what I mean? Or like a Maybach or like a Mercedes, right? Like you're talking that kind of range for a car where you are getting everything.
Well, yeah. Does that say 169?
Where? Yeah. Yep. 169.
Yeah. I mean, once
This
you
one's
start...
kind of an outlier because it's not as consumer, I guess.
Well, and I mean, you have a completely different consumer when you're talking about luxury vehicles like this. or anything. You know, when you're making $160,000 to $300,000 purchase of a vehicle, I mean
this is a whole nother price range here.
Yeah, I've never spent that kind of money on a car. I don't think I ever would, honestly.
No.
You know, I've wanted to buy certain cars that probably, you know, thank God for advice from friends. You know, why would you really want to do that? And I realize it now. Like, you can rent a Lamborghini and enjoy it, and get that experience of driving a just an awesome vehicle. But you can't drive it all the time, and why spend that kind of money? But that vehicle, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't spend that kind of money on a car like that.
No, it's a lot of money.
The reason being is there's too much unknown. Lucid. What do you do 10 years from now when the shit breaks? You know, I know if I bought a Rolls Royce or a Bentley or a Mercedes, they have a track record, and I know they're going to take good care of me. And that is something that I think, you know, a Hyundai, Toyota, you know, all these, you know, predominant cars that you see on
big
the road.
Players, yeah,
big players. You know, they also strive for customer service. But once you start getting into that next level, even Hummer, you know, we used to have a great experience when we bought the Hummer. But you know what I mean? It's like there's a different experience. There's different expectations when you're going in to get your car serviced, you know, when you're spending that kind of money on a car. But I don't know.
You like the look of these? I'd say after seeing them on the road a few times, they look way less like, there's all these like kind of like sharp lines and stuff that you see. They're way less spaceshipy looking. It still looks like a spaceship.
Yeah.
It's not as like gaudy as the pictures make it seem, which I kind of like. I really like the rims too. Of course, this isn't working. Oh, there we go. Like I like that look of the rim. I think that's really cool. But they look crazy in real life. It doesn't look. It looks like a concept car. It really does. And we had one getting worked on at the tint shop next door to us.
Yep.
And so I got to actually look at it. I didn't look inside, but I think it's going to come back next week, and the guy might have me look inside it. But it looks crazy on the outside. It's like, what the hell is that?
Well, I hope that they do well, but like, look at that rear end, the finish on that. See those lines?
Here?
No.
Or here?
Yeah, right there. See how it goes from the fender to the rear end there?
Yeah.
To me, that looks tacky.
Oh.
Like it's not finished, or, you know, it's put together. Just it's not a full frame.
Got
to
it.
me,
Okay.
That, just looking at that, see all the lines on that vehicle, that entire frame.
Yeah, there's a line here.
It just looks like it's put together in pieces versus, you know, you look at the Tesla and it's clean lines.
Is it?
You have your doors, but look at that rear end.
There's the Model 3. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just...
Yeah. Okay, we're not going to spend a ton of time on this. I'm surprised you never heard of them, but these are like the super high-end ones, and of course they are crazy fast and crazy comfortable. Okay, this next one is Rivian.
I've heard of Rivian.
Have you heard of Rivian? Have you seen them?
I've seen a Rivian. I have seen a Rivian.
I think this is like if REI branded a car, and that's why this one kind of speaks to me, because it's got all this like nature stuff, and I'm like, oh god damn it, they fucking got me. Like, it's pretty cool.
I think the SUV is pretty cool, but the truck,
not a fan.
It's not that I'm not a fan. It's I don't know.
I think why I like this one is it's quirky. It's different. It's like, we're going to try something different. Like, what the fuck is this weird storage thing? I don't know, but it's cool.
Yeah, no.
Right? It's totally different.
Yeah.
And the inside it's got an air compressor built into it, which is cool. Again, they look unique. I like the unique look.
Kind of looks like a Maverick, you know, the new Ford Maverick truck.
I guess.
Kind of small body,
little bit.
smaller body style. Oh, that interior's pretty nice.
I do like the interior, but this is the one where he got to the like AC part of it, and it was like, this looks annoying. But I think, I don't know. I really like them. I think they're unique. I think that they are functional. I think it's a small truck as opposed to the F-150. That's a larger truck, right?
Yeah,
This is more of like the comp's like a Tacoma, right?
Yep.
I think Tacoma's like a little bit longer, but similar to a Tacoma. The interior's pretty clean.
What are these priced at?
These start, so it's funny that you say that. I was doing like let's build one. So it starts at 67. We're going to build a truck here.
Okay.
And this quickly turns into a $100,000 truck.
Really?
So here's like the Explorer package. I don't really know what's in it, but like we're going to go top tier. So the Adventure package, whatever. Quad motor, all-wheel drive, there's another $6,000. So you can get up to 314 miles of range, or you can get 400 plus. There's another 16,000. Okay, well now we've moved into your $69,000 trucks just turned into $95,000. Oh, I want to change the paint because I like the blue. And then you change your rims, and then it's $101,000, and we're on the first step. So, and let's say I like green or white. I do think the white interior looks good. I think it's going to get destroyed. I think if you have white interior on a car, I never understand why people get white interior on a Tesla. It looks really cool. It looks
cool till it gets
God
dirty.
Damn. I mean, are you single? Like,
yeah.
You going golfing on the weekends? And then it's got all this, like, I think this is kind of cool, too. Again, if I just had, like, FU money, I mean, it's got, like, a camper. Like, that's sick, right? Get a little grill set up on this little thing. Like, I think that's cool. You know?
I don't know if it's $6,700 cool. So now you've spent $10,000 just so you can
go out and grill. This is what I was talking about earlier with the camping thing.
Yeah.
How many people are going camping like this in your truck? Like, if I bought this, am I now all of a sudden like this fucking camping galore person? Like, probably not.
Kind of like the vans that we see running all over the place nowadays that are just all tricked out, that have, they're four-wheel drive, converted vans that are,
That's at least like, hey, I've sold my house.
I have a new home.
And I think that's maybe a little different. This is clearly, this is a car. You're not going to live in this thing. But no. I don't know. I just don't know, like, okay, am I really going camping that much? Like, I was never really an off-roading person. So, like, do I even really need a truck? I just like having a truck because it's functional. But, yeah, what do you think? What do you think of these?
I think everyone should have a truck, in my opinion.
Okay.
Because they are very functional.
Mm-hmm.
But when I look at this, and I think $100,000, I would very quickly be...
That's if you get all the stuff.
Well, if you're going to do it, you better do it right. So
it comes with a little speaker, too.
Oh, well, then I'm
that
sold.
That comes out of the back.
Mobile speaker? Shit.
Don't have enough of those.
Yeah, I love those. Honestly, looking at this, I would probably say, again, just if the price didn't matter and I was looking for the best functional electric off-road vehicle that would allow me to do everything, I would go back to the Hummer.
Back to the Hummer or the Ford?
The Hummer.
Really?
Yeah, I would go back to the Hummer. When I'm looking at this, I would go back to the Hummer as my go-to vehicle because I know it's luxury. It has the luxury, comfort. It has function. It's a beast, and it's going to do whatever you need. I don't know if that RAV is going to pull
Rivian.
Rivian, is going to have a lot of towing capacity.
I'm pretty sure it does. I think they all do, but
do you think that's just now because electric motors have so much torque? Like, I mean, there's going to be a point where the rear end on this thing is not going to be able to hold that much weight. A tongue of a trailer.
I don't know.
Like, knowing the Hummer, we could tow anything in most cases with the Hummer. I don't know if this, for that price, gives me that warm and fuzzy, like, okay, I can tow anything with no problem. 11,000 pounds. I mean, that's a lot. What is the Hummer's towing capacity?
Whoa, only
Wow.
7,500.
Isn't that crazy? So that is pretty
Now let's
interesting.
do
F-150.
50 towing. We're talking cars.
That's it. We are.
F-150, hold on, towing. F-150 Lightning. Wow. The Rivian has these beat in towing.
Significantly beat.
But like almost double.
Almost double. Okay, so now
But,
you...
Oh, that's how much it weighs. Okay.
So now you know this has more towing capacity than
The Rivian has more towing capacity than a Hummer EV.
EV
Or-
or a Ford Lightning. That's pretty impressive.
And something else from just the functionality of the electric cars, which is something I'm concerned about. I do have like the range anxiety. Like, okay, let's say we're going camping. I got this thing at full charge, which they say not to do. Let's say I got this thing at 100%. And I have a so-called 400 miles. So I drive 80 miles there, which probably, if I'm towing AC, all that stuff, that's probably going to use like 100 plus miles of range,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And then you got to leave it parked. You're using whatever battery usage from the thing, plugging a phone in. That's nothing for these things, but it adds up, right? You got your, I don't know, apparently if you work for Ford, you do heists under bridges and, you know, you hook up a fucking buzzsaw to the back.
Yeah. No.
You camp for a couple days. And then, oh, I want to do some off-roading. Like, can you really do all that in one trip? If you're out in the middle of bum-ass nowhere and there's nowhere to charge it. That's what's concerning to me. Great, it can rock crawl. Great, the Hummer can do like this crab walk thing. I don't know if you've seen that on the commercials. It's like, cool, now what do I do when I got 80 miles left and I'm 2 hours deep in the desert and I used way more battery than I thought? Or, oh shit, now I got to cut my trip short. Stuff like that's going to happen. Like, that's what I don't get.
Well, we saw it this last winter.
Yeah, you talked about that when all the
yeah.
Teslas and stuff couldn't get charging.
They all were stuck on the freeway in the mountains or side roads as well, all out of battery, unable to move.
Yeah.
Like, how do we overcome that? Like,
I don't know. That's where it's like gas. Someone can just bring you some gas, or you can bring extra gas with you, and you get way more range on the gas. Because when you're driving around a Tesla, it's at 80%. You get in, let's say you got 200 miles left. The second you get on the freeway, you got the AC going, you're down to 180, and you've driven 2 miles.
yeah, I don't know why they haven't created something that is either around the windshields, like the windshield or the roof of the vehicle, or the hood itself that has a solar capacity.
Because Joe Rogan asked this to Elon Musk on his podcast. I'm pretty sure it was him. And Elon basically was, the return for solar is like dog shit. It's nothing.
Okay.
That's why people have giant solar panel roofs on their house. And you're talking a car that's moving with clouds at nighttime, you know, all those other things.
Yeah.
It won't do anything. It would maybe be enough to charge your phone, I'm assuming.
Well, you know,
Right.
you see RVs, you know, vans, they run around, they've got, you know, 2 panels on the roof.
But that's not powering the car.
No, it's not.
That's powering your little coffee maker. It's not gonna do anything for the car.
It's true. It's true. I mean, that's
That's the problem. I don't think there's a way around it other than
mobile charging is going to be, I mean, that's all I can think of is there's an opportunity. Every AAA truck is going to have some sort of a boost charge on it to where they can help, you know,
true.
cars, Teslas, whatever. I mean, the more electric vehicles that are going to be on the road, like what are we going to do one day when all of a sudden everyone's in the middle of rush hour traffic on the 405 in LA? Everyone now has electric vehicles. Damn it, Sally forgot to charge it last night, but she's got to get to work. So she tries anyhow and doesn't make it. Like, what are you going to do?
Again, I think this happened when regular cars became a thing. Imagine when they first started selling cars, like how many gas stations were there? Probably like barely any. And now cars are totally normal. Or just like phones. right? Like cell phones, the big bulk. How often did you really have signal? Or like the first iPhones, right? It were super expensive. Now this thing is cheap, and everything's just going to keep getting cheaper. They're going to have more charging things. It's going to just be charging going to be faster too, and it's already pretty fast considering what you're doing. You're driving around a freaking car.
Yeah.
And if you go to a Tesla supercharger, you can be from 20 to 80% in 25 minutes. Like that sounds like a long time, but it's really not.
Hey, I'm dreading going to the gas station today because I know I'm...
And it costs you $16 to go from 20 to 80, and you got 200 miles or whatever.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
that's nothing.
Yeah. No, I'm going to spend almost $200 to fill my truck, and I'll have to do that again in a matter of another day or two.
Is Dodge going to come out with an electric car?
I don't know.
Probably. I don't know. That's a weird market. Like, can they come out with a Ram?
Well,
EV?
Dodge muscle cars. When I think of Dodge, I think of, the Ram pickup truck, muscle cars and the Ram truck. I can't see them not trying to enter the electric market.
They have to, yeah.
I mean, everyone is. Look at the Kia.
Like, do you like these? I see these driving around, and I'm like, ooh, those kind of pop.
No,
those are kind of cool.
I think, honestly, Kia has done an amazing job as an automaker.
I like Kias.
So do I. They're comfortable. They're quiet. They're affordable.
Like, that looks sweet.
No, I would drive that.
And I don't know how much they go for, but I mean, they're probably.
Well, let's see.
What is this called? I don't even know what it's called.
EV6 first drive. Yeah, the Kia EV6.
40 grand.
See, that's something you could pay cash for and not, blink an eye. Granted, it's not $100,000 car, but it has a lot of the same characteristics. I mean, look, those lines are nice. What's the interior look like?
Probably pretty consumer, plain Jane.
Yep.
Nothing crazy, right? This is just like a consumer level car.
I love the knobs, those look like they'd be easy to use. They're very handy. Like that interior is simple.
Yeah. You're not going to be blown away by
you're
how
not getting
fast it is or how whatever, right? But this is just like, hey, I want an electric car, and I don't need to be buying a freaking $60,000 Tesla to get the range that I want.
Right.
That's where Tesla's done a great job. And I think Lucid will probably do this too. They've started at such a high tier, and they've made it such a, in 5 years, such a commodity. Like, oh, that's a whatever. Tesla did this too, and it's like, oh, well, let's just make it a very affordable one, Model 3. Right. So it's like people feel like they're getting this really, really nice brand, which they are, for like an affordable price. Right. Granted,
you're going to be charging more often.
You're going to be charging a ton, but it's the perfect commuter car. Like if you got a charging thing at your house and you drive even from here to downtown Sacramento every day, you're not going to have to stop and charge on the way there. You can drive there and back, and you're paying pennies on the dollar basically for.
So when you drive the Tesla, how often do you have to go and charge?
I mean, we charge them. I don't know. Again, it depends on how you're running the AC, how you drive it. When I've driven them, I like to step on it. I like to get the Tesla experience.
So let's just say, like, this next week I've got to go back up to Oregon. Mm-hmm. If I was to take a Tesla...
You'd probably, if you drove from here to Oregon, you'd probably have to stop 4 to 5 times on the way up.
To fully charge it?
Again, they don't say fully. They say around 80 to 90%. It's not good to take it to 100. But let's say you charge it up to 90%, probably 4 or 5 times.
Wow. Okay.
And that's being pretty conservative. You could probably get there in like 3 or 4, but I would be more comfortable 4 or 5.
And what does a charge run? Like, what's the cost for that?
How much?
Yeah.
From 20 to 80, from what we've seen, it's $15, $16.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Oh. So it's like, I got to spend time on me. It's like, okay, so you cut out a little bit more for your time. You get out, you stretch your legs, and then you go. But that's where you have, like, I think if you're going to buy a Tesla, if you're going to buy a 3, if you can get the tier up with the dual motor and the long range, like that's a game changer because you get an additional like almost 200 miles.
Yeah.
And it's like instead of 80% being 240 miles, 80% is like 360.
I can't remember, but does it have a function where it will tell you if when you're getting near a charging station?
Yeah. So if you put in, like, people have rented them and taken them to like LA, it's like put in the address you're going, it'll go boop, 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 and tell you where to charge, how much charge battery is going to be left when you get there.
Okay, good.
How much it might cost, how many stalls are available, all that sort of stuff. So again, I think, and not saying that these other cars can't do it.
Right.
I just think stuff like that, like when people rent them, I go over the basics and whatever, and I'm like, honestly, you're going to come up with more questions while you drive. Like, I can tell you all you can, but you're going to have all these questions while you drive. And I think Tesla answers all of the questions that people have. Like, oh, how do I do this? Can I do this? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can tell it to do this. Like, I just think the technology is way better. I think it's the comparison from an Apple to an Android.
Yeah.
As far as Tesla.
Absolutely.
And everything else.
It's funny you say that, though, because I say it all the time to people that don't have Apples, have an Apple phone, but they're,
they just don't like stuff to work properly, or like,
it's almost like it's clunky.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why anyone would be satisfied with that and say, oh yeah, no, I love my Samsung. Okay, that's great, but
you're lying to yourself. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, I mean,
I think they just have a bone to pick with Apple and Steve Jobs or whoever, right? They're just like, I don't like Apple.
But when something's good, it's good.
What would be a great test is to go and just have the control panels for all these cars, like, to use. Because I guarantee you, the look of the Tesla, the functionality, the placement of all the stuff is going to be 10 times better than everything else. Even that Hummer, I can already see the way that it looks. I'm going to tap something and it's going to take a minute to open. You're going to tap it and it's going to go boom and it's going to take a minute. The Tesla, you fucking touch it, it opens. It's just like an iPad.
Right.
It's literally just like an iPad. You tap it and the app opens. You swipe and it's smooth and you feel like you can really control it. And you're not waiting for it to respond to you. I can't stand that. When you're using a touchscreen something and it's like
delayed.
Hello, do it. Can't stand that. And
imagine that you're driving and you're trying to do something. And I mean, that's my other fear when I think of all the stuff that these cars are starting to be able to do. I already see enough knucklehead drivers on the road when I'm going out to the Bay or something. Like the number of accidents, just people don't pay attention.
Yeah.
And then they're driving way too fast. You know what I mean? But you got all these things at your fingertip. I mean, it's gonna be kind of crazy. Kind of like the crazy lady that ran across the freeway when I was coming back from Vallejo.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. 10 lanes later, I watched her run all the way across 80 from one side, comes running out of the woods or the little bushes there, and all I could imagine, how long is it going to take till this lady gets hit? Because there were cars everywhere. I don't know how she made it across, to be honest.
Another one, and I think this is going to be another weird thing, is like you're going to start seeing all these like really cheap, like Polestar. We'll look at a Polestar. Polestars do not look that nice.
Polestar, I've never even heard of a Polestar.
Yeah,
looks like a Hyundai.
Yeah, like I can. Oh no, book a test drive. I don't want to book a test drive. Just show me pictures. God damn it.
Hey, no.
Sorry. Like, they look cool.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad looking car, actually.
Of course, there's no pictures of the inside. Like, that's just what I want, man. Like, read the interior. Explore the interior. Man,
there we go.
I can't stand these websites. I like the Hummer one. I like the GMC one because it's like...
simple.
Gallery. Thank you. That's all I want. Just pictures of the inside. Come on, man. Oh, my God. Okay. Well, anyways.
Yeah, clearly they're trying to sell you all kinds of...
Clearly they don't want you looking on the inside because they suck.
And where would you buy...
I don't know. They're like up and coming. Hertz signed a deal to buy 65,000 of them over the next 5 years.
Really?
Yeah. So, like, again, this looks like just super...
Well, looking at it right now, I mean, a lot of those pictures are the opposite side, so they're European.
Yeah. I mean, they look fine. It's just like I can already tell I'm going to hit the touch screen, and it's going to be not responsive. Oh, God.
Yeah, no.
I'm not having luck with these websites right now, but
no.
again, you're going to start seeing all these other weird companies come out of the woodwork. Yeah.
Well, yeah, no, that screen looks like, sorry to interrupt you, but it looks like, I feel like I would break it. You know what I mean? I'd press on it and it would get loose, or it just, I mean, I would hate to
look
be
at all this wasted, like, oh God, just let me zoom in.
But
like, look at all this wasted space here.
How are mechanics, like, what is going to happen to your traditional, auto shop?
I don't know. They're going to have
because
to learn.
this is all computers. It has nothing to do with a motor. It's all computers. Mm-hmm. Drivetrains for sure, but you know what I mean?
Tires and brakes and stuff, like normal stuff. That'll be normal.
Yeah, Les Schwab is at least happy about all this change. But
sure, yeah.
They're not worried. But if I was running a radiator mechanic, I would be a little concerned about my longevity right now when I look at these cars.
Yeah. But again, we don't know how they drive. Maybe they drive nice. But, not everything is going to be as nice as a Tesla.
But anything that has that many buttons is just that many more things it can break.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of sound like a boomer right now.
But I have to.
I mean, there's not even that many buttons on here, but I just think this touchscreen looks terrible. It looks like the worst thing ever, and you can say what you want about the car. I think the car looks fine. I think the car looks cool. Kind of looks like a Volvo. But when it comes down to it, when you start clicking around, you want to get your music, you want to get to the AC. If that screen starts lagging, and your car's hot and it's the summer, and you just want to pull up your music but also have the AC on, you're going to get annoyed and it's going to suck.
It looks like a Volkswagen.
A little bit. Yeah.
A little bit. Has that. And you should look at Volkswagen because they have.
We got to wrap this up. Ooh, this is a long one, dude. I've seen a couple of these. You like the look of these?
I like the Volkswagen bus.
The bus, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't
if you drive
one,
these.
but I don't know if I would say I wouldn't drive one. Like that's, it's just. I feel like they have a real significant line that they can build off of. From the Bug to the Jetta. The bus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I just, and they're priced affordable in most cases.
Yeah. I've seen a bunch of these on the road, and the Hyundai Ioniq 5 too. I've seen those. Those are kind of cool.
Well, as a whole, I think that the industry is going to continue to accelerate like it is.
It's because they're going to have to keep innovating. And I think they already have. But they're just going to have to keep making things better. And, yeah, see, 44,000, like, that's not terrible.
No, because most people, again, buy a car and have a payment. Mm-hmm. Or they'll lease it. Like, if I was going to buy an electric car right now, I would lease it. Because I don't want any problems. I don't want any maintenance issues. I don't want to be responsible for anything other than enjoying it. And being that it's still very early in the stages of, where are these cars going to be, I'd rather know that in 2 or 3 years I can just turn it in and get another one or move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd feel like if I bought $100,000 electric car today and the company's not even, Lucid's gone in 5 years. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's
maybe.
like buying a DeLorean. Where do you take it? They
I don't know who even owns DeLorean. Was it just DeLorean? Saab? Remember Saabs?
Saabs, yes.
All right, we gotta wrap it up. We've been going for a super long time. Thank you all for listening to us talk and look at electric cars. So interesting to listen to. Probably not, but I'm glad we found it out. Okay, what's your favorite? The Hummer truck?
Oh boy.
If money's not an issue, you have your pick, and you get top of the line on all of these models. You got the model, or you got the Cybertruck, which isn't out, but let's say you got like the Model X Plaid, or the Hummer truck, or the top of the line F-150, or the Rivian if you spend $120,000 and got all that cool stuff.
I think I'd still go F-150.
Yeah.
Yeah. as much as I liked the Hummer,
Yeah.
I was disappointed in its towing capacity. It's pretty much equal to the Ford. And that Rivian. The Rivian, to me, is too small.
Too small.
That's
Not for you.
not for me. So I would go F-150.
All right. F-150 is the choice. I'm going Rivian because if REI branded a car, they branded it for me because apparently I'm an outdoorsy person and I need to be cooking food outside and camping, but I also am rich, apparently. I still go camping. So we're done. We'll see you next week. Thank you, everybody.
Yep. Take care.